Today's video is a little different, a little on the random side, but I'm going to take you inside my personal budgeting spreadsheet and let you know how I manage my personal finances as a bookkeeper and a business owner. We'll also go over my Christmas budget so you can see how much I'm spending on Christmas gifts this year. I don't know if that interests you. And I have different tabs where I track different financial goals. So both my husband and I own our own businesses. So because of that, our income varies month to month. So it took me a while to figure out kind of how to track it and how to make sure I was saving like for the big expenses that were coming up. So like taxes, for example. So I kind of take all of our money and then I divide it into 12, like for each month. So I'll show you exactly how I do that and my beautiful spreadsheet that I have fine-tuned over the last like 5 or so years. So if you don't know me, my name is Morgan and my website's FinePoints.biz. Usually I talk all about how to run your bookkeeping business, and this is kind of tangentially related, right? So we're going to go into my computer screen and I will show you all about this budgeting spreadsheet. Let's start out here. This is the spreadsheet. I already have it open. You can see all the tabs down at the bottom. So I have the year, which is 2024 right now, soon to be 2025. I have my financial goals, the year expenses, which means like every year I need to remember, oh yeah, I need to pay for soccer in the spring or whatever. And then house projects. And we're already on Christmas, so let's just start with that. I know it's kind of like human nature to be it's kind of fun to be, nosy and see what other people are spending. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you guys think this is a lot, a little, normal. I'm not really sure. I do consider myself like a fairly frugal person. So I don't know, take with that what you will. So this is our Christmas budget. I kind of keep it the same every year and then just, change it a little bit depending on what's going on that year. So for my side of the family and then my husband's side of the family, all the adults draw names. So we always just have one person to buy, one person that I buy a gift for, one person that my husband buys a gift for, and then the family sets that limit. So for my side, it's $100, and then for my husband's side, it is $50. So we just have those 4 gifts, and that takes care of like our siblings and parents and that kind of thing. And then I have my niece and nephew for each about $30. For my kids, I have 2 kids, and usually we do the thing where we give them 4 gifts. It's something they want, something they need, something to wear, and something to read. So you can kind of like interpret that different ways, different years, depending on their ages and stuff. And then they kind of know what to expect. And so that just helps me be a little bit flexible, but not like go too crazy on Christmas. And then so typically they might each get one like slightly larger gift, like maybe like $75 to $100, and then the other 3 gifts would be like medium sized. All right, and I can kind of let you guys read the rest of this yourself. I have stocking stuffers. My husband and I don't really get each other gifts. That's my preference. I'm like the best gift you can get me is that I don't have to worry about getting you something like thoughtful. I'm not like really a gift giver, like that's not my love language or anything. So I can actually be kind of grouchy about getting people gifts. So that's why I do try to do it like really ahead of time. So then I'm able to just like kind of enjoy the Christmas season after that. All right, then we have a bunch of friend gifts, and then we have like a bunch of family birthdays in December. So I started adding that to my budget as well, just because I don't know, I would forget about them. But now I have all those, like my sister's birthday, my best friend's birthday, and 2 of my husband's siblings' birthdays are all in December. And then I have teacher gifts. My kids usually make something for all their aunts and uncles. So that's about like 10 or 12 people now. So they'll make some kind of DIY gift so that they are learning how to be thoughtful. And then stocking stuffers. And then we do like a donation gift to a family. So that my grand total this year is $1,380. Again, let me know. It might be a little higher or lower than that, but let me know if you have a Christmas budget this year and what it looks like. Okay, let's move on to what I think might be most helpful to you if you are also a business owner, or you might just get some ideas on how to kind of regulate cash flow. So there's kind of a lot going on here, but I'm going to try to make it as simple as possible. All right, so starting off, let's just look at this little color-coded little chart here. So basically, I just wanted to know how much money we're making in a year. That's like the basic thing, right? And then also how much money we're making in a month. Like I said, our income can vary a whole lot from month to month. Generally, I was trying to figure out like how much we make on average per month, and then how much I should be saving for these things. So giving, retirement savings, and then taxes, because sometimes those were like large payments that would come up, and then I want to make sure I have enough money for them, right? And of course, all these numbers are fake because I wasn't going to show that much detail of our income. But you can tell this is my husband's salary and his distribution. So both of us are a W-2 employee, and then we own our business, so we have a distribution. So this is his those two things, and then Morgan, my salary and distribution. And because I like to keep those things pretty consistent every month, I have this little category that's extra business income. So for example, if one of our distributions, like some people would just take a bigger distribution, like in July, if they had a good month or if they wanted to spend some money. And so we do that sometimes, but just for the sake of organization, I put it in a separate category because I wanted to know like the base amount that we were getting every month. And I don't know, just easier for me that way. So then from there, it's pretty simple. This just totals it up and then it feeds into this. You can see that this cell equals G9, which is this. And then this is, the month is just this total divided by 12. And you can see everything is kind of color coded. So the green is the salary, the giving is this yellow total. All these are feeding into this main table spreadsheet here. The blue is retirement and then taxes. So let's use taxes as another example. So basically in this column, I put how much we're going to have to spend on taxes. So we break it up into 4 quarterly payments. There's a federal and a state. So I just wanted to know like the total for that and basically divide that by 12. And that's how much we need to save each month for taxes, right? So it sounds simple now that I'm explaining it, but it's kind of confusing if you don't have like this bird's eye view. So you can see this is our total for this example is $15 for the year, and then divide it by 12. This is obviously rounded, but you would be saving $1 per month. So then that also feeds, this is kind of like our month, like how much we need to save. So we need to save $1 for taxes, $2 for retirement, $5 for giving. And so each of these functions a little bit differently. Taxes is pretty straightforward. Giving is a little confusing because it's a percentage of our income, as is retirement to some extent. But so this doesn't probably apply to most people, but basically we kind of do it like quarterly taxes. Actually, we make an estimate on how much would be that percentage of our income. And then if we need to add or subtract to correct it at the end of the year, I will. And then for retirement, to some extent, we try to max out the things that we can. And this we work with like a financial advisor to make sure we're doing what we need to do. But the point is, if I have a total goal, it's again, a percentage of our total income. First of all, I need to know how much is our total income, and then what's our goal percentage, and then how will I use our different investment accounts to hit that goal. So again, in this example, I am saving every month $5, $6, $7, $8 per month. And then so if I save that $8 per month, it will cover all of those expenses that I don't want to forget about. And then the source here just means like, what account is it coming out of? Like, is this coming out of my husband's paycheck? Maybe, just to kind of allocate like logistically, where is that money sitting in my bank account and what account is it being paid from? And then I just also added this little net worth thing just because for a while I didn't really understand or track this. So I just have the total for our retirement accounts, college accounts for our kids, and then our mortgage. So that's actually a debt. So how much do we owe on our house? And if you guys are curious on seeing these other tabs, I'm happy to show you. Goals is kind of random. Basically, these are our savings goals. So we wanted, and then the dollar amounts go here, a personal emergency fund and a personal capital fund, which I think that's my husband's word, but I think that just means like, if we want to do a project, like say we want to, redo our kitchen or something, that is like a savings fund, like that we're getting capital. So that's like money we're saving up. Same with his business in particular. He has a number of employees, so we want to make sure he has a good emergency fund, so he would be able to cover payroll for like 3 to 6 months. And same business capital in case he wanted to buy a building to work out of. I'm not sure if that is currently gonna be our goal or not. And then retirement savings goals and giving savings goals. So it just helped me to kind of have this all like plotted out. Then we have our big priorities. And then we ranked them, like what was most important to me and what was most important to him. So like, for example, our number one priority was to pay off Greg, which was a business debt that he had. So this was the previous owner of his business. And so we both put that as our number one priority. And then, you can see we kind of we're in discussion about what our next financial goal is. All right, and then really quick, this is kind of like a silly thing, but basically my husband and I each just hit 40, and so I was kind of like realizing like, oh, I don't have that much time left with my kids, and we want to do a couple like maybe bigger vacations, or just like what goals do we want to do with the kids before they're gone. So I was just kind of like, okay, let's plot out like the next 2 decades and just generally outline what our goals might be, because I don't know if that's actually all these things are actually going to happen, but if I don't plan it, if I don't put it as a goal, it definitely won't happen. And I was kind of thinking about that recently with like buying a new house. I don't know if we're gonna buy a new house, but it's something that we've talked about. So I'm like, if we want to do it, we actually need to write it down, like start taking steps in that direction and see if it's even feasible. So let me know in the comments if you do this type of thing or if this is like over the top. I'll show you my last 2 tabs here, but let me know in the comments what kind of budgeting you use. Do you use something other than an Excel sheet, or what's your process? So year expenses is just, I kind of would forget about expenses each, they would surprise me sometimes. So I just started like jotting down, and I could probably even add more to this. When I, like a big one is in May, we have a bunch of stuff that I needed to pay for, like sports and summer camps, especially. So I needed to remember, oh, in May, I really need to have a cash flow. And then house projects is just a list of things that we need to fix on our house, basically. So, and kind of we need to make a list and like rank them in order of like, this is the most important thing. How much is that going to cost? Which is not filled out right this second. But if you've made it all the way to the end, definitely subscribe. And usually I talk more specifically about bookkeeper things. This was kind of a special spreadsheet edition.